Throwing a lot of kicks.
Yeah, one of those punches from Kelvin has really put a big mouse under his right eye.
See it right here, Joe.
And Kelvin's targeting it. And he tagged him again.
Tim didn't get hit. He's final seconds of the round.
Wild punches, though, with his hands down. He's got tapped again and again. Tim's in trouble.
Into the
jab. Kelvin with a straight left. And this is what we suspected coming in this fight. Kelvin has an advantage with footwork, movement, and boxing. And Kennedy is getting lit up with his hands down.
Really? Get up. Kennedy owned the early part of round one. Gastelum owned the latter part of round one. Heavy kick early. Kelvin wants to put together combinations, get in and get out, though. Doesn't want to grapple with Kennedy again.
And I don't think Kennedy wants to box with Kelvin.
Absolutely.
So this is very interesting.
Styles make fights.
Well, now that he knows that Kelvin's lighting him up on his feet, let's see what Tim Kennedy does to try to mitigate that. Kelvin's a very good wrestler himself, and Kelvin defends the takedown nicely. When Kelvin spins, he gets Tim Kennedy's back.
Now it's Gastelum who takes the back of his opponent.
And again, this is a guy who submitted Jake Ellenberger. He's got very good submission skills. The question is he going to be able to utilize those against a big, strong black belt like Tim Kennedy?
Picked last on The Ultimate Fighter, won at 21 years old.
Kennedy trying to grab a hold of one of the arms of Kelvin. Kelvin's not letting him. Kennedy wants to reverse his position somehow. He's got a hold of the single. Let's see if he can complete it. Back to the waist.
Now let's see if Tim can drag Gastelum back down to the mat.
Let's push his head down. Let's push his head down. Push his head in. Don't let it behind.
Chance for Corey Kelly. Gastelum has spent time in King's MMA as well. Been with Chance for forever.
Kelvin turned him around, hit him with a combination. Beautiful right hook, left hand.
Tim's trying to dig in.
He's firing back, but there's a big difference in their boxing ability, and you're seeing it when Kelvin uncorks these combinations. Kelvin's more fluid, more efficient, faster. And this is the dangerous Kelvin Gastelum. Light on his feet, good footwork.
Midway point of the fight.
Good kick to the body there by Kelvin.
Gastelum.
Excellent combination by Gastelum, and a good job of avoiding that takedown. And Tim looks like he's moving in mud right now.
Yeah, Gastelum definitely dictating where this fight takes place. Couple of kicks, now a side kick, just to try to keep Kelvin off of him and stall this aggressive attack. Oh, well done, lead uppercut.
And there you see the difference in speed, but Kennedy can do this. This is where he shines.
A lot of time remains here in the round.
But he's got to be able to drag him to the ground. Look at this. Kelvin reverses the position. Kelvin on top now. Kelvin turned it around on Kennedy.
Gastelum beat Nate Marquardt the last time he fought 185. It was a doctor stoppage.
Yeah, he beat him badly.
Yeah, he did. Mexico City.
But that was also a situation where, you know, he couldn't make the 170 weight. They made him fight 185. I mean, it's happened a couple of times now.
Yep.
If Kelvin could just get it together, he's so talented.
Under a minute now here in round two. Kennedy, like you said,
It looks like he's
His
moving
pace
through
is-
mud.
oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he's really exhausted here.
Slowed down massively.
But he's also one of those guys that carries a tremendous amount of muscle. I mean, you look at how big he is and how well built he is. I mean, that's great in the beginning of a fight. It's very difficult to maintain. He just got caught with a left hook. Kelvin cracked him there. It's very difficult to maintain a fast pace with that kind of build. Brown, he can control the exchanges better. He can control the pace of things if he can stay on top. And that strength allows him to stay on top sometimes. But Kelvin has done a great job of mitigating that. Beautiful jab by Kelvin. Another jab.
Again,
1-2 by Kelvin. Kennedy's hurt.
That lead uppercut connected. Big round for Gastelum. His striking is...
This is the speed and fluidity of Gastelum. Look at that. He faked with the left, came in with the right uppercut. Very beautiful and fluid. And there's that left hook. Caught him right in the...
And final round.
Kelvin Gastelum runs towards Tim Kennedy at the beginning of this round. I think he senses that Tim is slowing down. 1-2 by Kelvin. Looking for the neck, spins to the back. I'd be shocked if he decided to stay here, though. I think he's going to try to beat him up. Boom, boom, boom. Kelvin all over him here. Beautiful combinations by Kelvin.
Man, standing right in the pocket, Joe.
Goes for the high kick. Tim blocked it. Left hand. Left hand again.
Kennedy's got to find a way to get
Beautiful
the momentum
jab.
back.
Kennedy's
and it's not
stunned.
like that.
Kennedy's stunned. He's badly hurt. Kelvin just cracked him again. A lot of time left in this round.
Talked about the outstanding hands,
Look at
the
that
boxing, head kick.
Oh,
Gastelum.
man, he looks good. Beautiful combinations by Gastelum. He's
Kelvin
just picking
Gastelum
Kennedy
senses a
apart.
finish here, Joe.
He's just picking him apart. Just so smooth and fluid and doesn't look tired at all.
Kennedy misses. Hit him with that second one.
But Kennedy is, again, he's moving through mud. He looks exhausted. He looks burdened down. He's trying to connect. But Kelvin just gets out of the way of things. And whatever does land doesn't seem to have much on it.
Watch for the uppercut, or if
He's looking for the
Kennedy
kick
leans
there.
down again, look for a kick or look for a knee in that position. Head strikes, not even close.
There's that beautiful jab again by Kelvin. And you look at the way they're both moving now. Kelvin is loose and fluid and looks like he's moving at the same speed that he was in the first round. You cannot say the same thing about Tim. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, even if that landed, there was nothing to it. I mean, Tim is on full-on survival mode here. But he's a survivor.
Absolutely.
To his credit, he's not a tougher man alive. He's getting beat up, but he's still there to try to win it. It's just whether or not his body's capable of it anymore.
Kelvin continues to stay right there in the pocket.
So here's
Kennedy,
the question.
yeah.
The real question is, does Kelvin, is he better off not cutting weight? Is he better at 185 pounds because he's a smaller guy? Because if you look at tonight's performance, it would seem to indicate that. We were thinking that he was a contender. Look at this. Beautiful.
More combinations landed. Hit is all over. Kelvin Gastelum stops Tim Kennedy.
Stunning. Stunning, and he really made it look easy. Just a tremendous performance by a young, talented kid, as we said, with his back against the wall. He needed to win this fight. The question is, Kelvin, when he doesn't cut weight, is he a better fighter? Is he better being a smaller guy? It's hard to say what was the factor tonight. Was it Tim Kennedy taking 2 years off? Tim just not being prepared for a guy like Kelvin? Who knows? But Kelvin Gastelum looked outstanding tonight.
Fight replay brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Just the beautiful, fluid combinations of Kelvin Gastelum. There you see the high kick. There he moves in with that left hand. There's that beautiful jab. Just popped him with that jab and had Kennedy stunned. One to the body. I mean, Kennedy was a sitting duck. He looked exhausted. He looked like he was just overrun by lactic acid. Meanwhile, Gastelum looked loose and fast. Just a beautiful job by Kelvin Gastelum.